Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we are currently defending this base, and we're doing pretty well at it, to be honest. We've got this lance down over here, and we've got an additional lance up over this way that we need to deal with. So our Devastator is currently up over here. I think that this guy should head this way. We're not in a position to be able to engage this round, but we will get there. Our other Devastator might be able to engage down this way. That is barely an LOS. But we'll take it. We'll position it here, 28%. Yeah, let's fire on this Frankie. We could potentially do a lot of damage to it. We'll see what we get done. That laser AMS still going nuts over there. Okay. The laser AMS is very close to being eliminated. Sadly, we got no damage dealt there, but whatever. Hopefully, this round, these mechs will walk into this zone that they're basically already in and will activate the turrets. That would be awfully nice, but unfortunately, they haven't done it yet. So for now, there's not a lot we can do about that. We can't control them, after all. Okay, that was some allied unit that just did literally nothing. That's fine, I suppose. Let's move our Crossbow X. Actually, let's not. We don't quite get an LOS. I'm going to reserve it.
I'm holding action.
Next up is our Nidhogg, and the Nidhogg needs to keep its evasive up. We're going to go into the rear arc back over here, and I'm going to rear arc attack this Hunchback.
No shooting, just running.
And we're going to fire this almost certainly not on the high actually. We might be better off, since we have a high explosive bomb here, we might be better off firing on the Apollo and getting some splash damage. Let's go. We missed both of those?
Let's go.
Wow. Okay.
Reporting. Critical hit.
That went poorly. That went very poorly indeed. The Apollo did panic and eject, though, so I guess that's okay. But we did end up bombing our own units out over here on like a 90% hit chance. Okay, well, the Bandersnatch definitely wants to get into some form of LOS here. It also fails to get into some form of LOS, so we'll position it here. We could fire on any of these units. These hit odds are not great, but the longbow is the best. The longbow has very low frontal armor, so we could do serious damage here. Let's see what happens. I mean, we didn't do serious damage, but it was possible. Absolutely possible. So next up, sadly, these guys just braced again. So we're not going to get turrets.
Okay.
I'm going to reserve our Crossbow X again. Nothing up over here has moved yet.
Let them make the first mistake.
Our allies are being very unhelpful at this moment, but that's fine. We don't technically need them. They're just a bonus. This archer is actually going to move, though, and not fire. Okay. I was hoping it would actually do something, but nope. That's fine. We're just going to position our Grasshopper here for the time being. It got charged by an Atlas, of course, and so it took some damage from that. Okay. This longbow moves up. Does it do anything? Yes, actually. It fires on the enemy longbow. And it gets a structure exposure and crits a bunch of LRM-20s. Destroys an LRM-20, too. Cool. Nice to see our allies actually doing something for a change. What do our enemies do here, though? That's the question. Okay, so this is the Frankie moving, going for that Avatar. The Avatar is not going to last for much longer. At some point, they're going to have to actually, you know, get into the area, but we'll see when that ends up happening. So the crossbow is the next mover, and I'm going to position it right here. And we're going to take out this longbow. I think that we don't want to fire listen kill ammo here. We probably are much better off firing standard ammo here. So light him up. Okay, LRM ammo explosion finishing him off. That was a lot of armor damage there. It was pretty close to not actually getting that mech destroyed. But that's okay.
Talk to me.
Next up is our Crossbow X. Nothing up here has moved. We're going to reserve it. We want to move it after in case they move into a position where we can run up to this firing line and fire on them. That would be ideal. So we're going to reserve them back. Next up is going to be the mortar carrier. Is that actually going to fire on anything? It would be nice. It's going to move and fire on the longbow. Okay, we'll take it. Getting some amount of armor damage dealt to that longbow is useful. Cool. So that looks good. Next up is going to be
Waiting for
our
orders.
rifleman. The rifleman is in a reasonable spot here, but we can move to cover, and we're going to do
Copy
exactly
that.
that. We could fire on the Hunchy or on the Frankie. Hit odds are... Actually, they're identical. Okay, so 680 total armor versus 525 total armor. The Hunchy is more damaged. I'm going to fire on the Hunchback here. Light him up.
Firing.
Good shooting there. Arm destruction. The Hunchback is now unsteady. So that's good. He is going to get to move very soon, though. So we might not be able to take advantage of that. Phase 16 is not going to be anyone down here. So that's finally going to be someone up on this side moving. The longbow? Okay. I don't care about the longbow moving. Firing rear arc on a rifleman? I mean, yeah, that's annoying, but it's not the end of the world.
Now that was a heavy hit.
Okay. So next up is our archer. The archer needs to move a little bit here. I'm going to place it here.
You betcha.
And we're going to fire once again on that Hunchback. The Hunchback is unsteady. I want to take advantage of that while we can. These hit odds are not great, mostly due to no visuals.
Got it.
But let's see what we get done there. Couple of internal shots. But nothing significant there. Okay. Next up is going to be the other mover up this way. That is going to be this guy, I think. Oh, they have two up here still. So the Orion, I would like to see move. Okay, he moves down over here. Rear arc attacks that Avatar. Okay. I mean, the Avatar is doing literally nothing, so that's fine. And then finally, this Roughneck is going to move. I'd like to see it move forward and break cover, but the Hunchy is going to move first and not really do anything but fire on our Nidhogg. Okay. Not very relevant there, all things considered. And now, finally, this Corsair will move. Or actually, no, it's going to be the Roughneck, then the Corsair. Firing on the Archer? Okay. I don't care about this. This is an irrelevant amount of damage. So that is all absolutely fine. No problem whatsoever there. At this point, the Black Knight is going to step up over here. And we're going to fire on the Roughneck here, as best we can. Probably best off to fire the laser in binary mode now. And we did get a hit with it, so yep, that was indeed the right call. We also got a head hit on that Roughneck. Okay. So next up is going to be our SPG. Where do we want to drop this? I'm thinking over here. These guys are pretty spread out and pretty wounded as well. I'm thinking like on this Corsair or maybe even here. Yeah, that's probably slightly better in case we miss. So that would be on the Orion, who's the most centrally located of all of these. We'll see how much splash damage we get done here.
Locked on target.
That was a right on target shot. Okay. So that mostly just did damage to the Orion, maybe a tiny amount of splash damage to the Corsair, but probably not very much. So now the Corsair is going to move. Is it going to advance up here? No. Firing indirect on that Devastator. I don't care about that. Okay, it can have fun with that. All looks good there. Next up is going to be our Marauder. The Marauder is almost certainly not going to get LOS here. So we're just going to sprint it as forward as it can. Next round is when it's going to get LOS.
I'm here.
The Devastator is able to get LOS out over here.
On my way.
And
Double
there's
time.
no actual visuals here, but still 60% hit odds. We'll take that. Should we fire this in precision mode? It doesn't help, so no.
Target confirmed.
Nice!
Oh, hell
That was
yeah.
a really good shot on that Roughneck.
I think things are going swimmingly.
Yeah, that went really well. I like it. That also eliminated its combat shotgun. We'll take it.
I've got your back.
So the Crossbow X is not going to make it into LOS, I don't think. Yeah, I was hoping that they
Moving
would
at a
step
sprint.
forward, but they did not. So we'll just place the Crossbow X
Commander.
there. And the Devastator is going to move in down this way. We can fire on the Frankie, or we can fire on the Hunchback. The Frankie is the choice here, obviously. Are we better off in precision mode? We absolutely are. Light him up.
Give them everything I've got. Hot damn,
So that
let's
was a
do
lot of
this.
damage to that Frankie. No doubt about it.
Reporting
Structure
critical
exposure, hip destruction. We'll take it. Beautiful. So now we're going to get a new round here. And what are we going to have in terms of roles here? So we have a phase 30 mover ally. That's probably going to be somebody up over here. Yeah, that'll be this archer. He didn't fire last round. Let's see if he does anything this round. Nope. Absolutely not. Moves into cover and braces. He's got LRMs, so I don't know what he's doing. He's just chilling. Whatever. We just don't count on our allies for things, is the answer. LRM carrier doing the same thing. Okay. Sure. They could do a lot of damage, but they've chosen not to. We're going to step forward with our rifleman here. I'm going to angle it a little bit like this in hopes that they can't quite get that rear arc. And we're going to fire on the Frankie as the highest hit odds here. Leg destruction. Nice. That'll be a knockdown. And that'll reserve him back a fair amount. We'll see how much. Well, there we go. There's the knockdown. 17. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, so next up is going to be our Nidhogg. The Nidhogg is going to get into... Do we want rear arc on this Hunchback? Not really. I kind of want side arc on it. We need minimum distance, so about here.
Roger.
Is this his weak side? Yes, it is. Beautiful. We're going to fire... We'll go with an arrow 4 here.
Firing on target.
It's low hit odds, but let's see what happens.
Give them everything.
Not bad. Torso destruction. That'll be good. So the Hunchback is now unsteady as well and is really close to dead. The Crossbow X, I'm going to just kind of break cover here and sprint across to this cover. And we're going to light up this Roughneck. This is going to be our last MRM 20 standard ammo. But this will do a lot of damage to the Roughneck in theory.
I'll break him in two.
Engine core crit, gyro destruction.
That was a critical
That was a
hit.
lot of stability there. He didn't quite get knocked over, I don't think. It was very, very close.
SRMs are out.
Yeah, okay. So the crossbow is going to step forward to about here. And we're almost certainly going to be firing on the Hunchback here. Yeah, do it. So we're going to have to choose some different ammo here. So we're going to go listen kill for these two. But the Hunchback could die from this. This is its strong side. We'll see.
Let's go.
There we go. Heavy rifle ammo explosion. That'll do the trick. Beautiful. So we're almost done taking out this side over here. All that's left is the Frankie.
Yes.
And our Bandersnatch moves next. Okay, we'll position it here and fire indirect at that Frankie, but
Moving out.
hit odds are very low here, considering it's knocked down. Why are these so low? No visuals, sure, but okay. Well, we're going to try it. We're just crit fishing here. Let's see what happens. I believe we hit exactly one missile. Okay, that went very poorly, but it's okay. So the Grasshopper is going to make its way up over here. I don't love these positions. Yeah, I don't love them. We'll want to protect our right side more than our left, so I guess here we'll have to do.
Move.
I'm concerned about... Oh, this guy's not going to be coming up that cliff. I thought that was a hill. Okay. He would have to come around this way. Noted. We'll pot shot at this Roughneck. Hit odds are low due to no sensors. Okay. But let's see what we get done. Little bit of internal damage. That might be enough to knock him down. And indeed it was. Fantastic. That's what I want to see. So pilot health is at 1 of 3 now. And he actually ejects. Okay,
Standing by.
perfect. So the Black Knight is going to advance. Ooh, we have LOS on 2 here. The Black Knight is fresh. It would have 5 evasive. This would be kind of bait. He would absolutely take a lot of fire here. I think maybe we don't advance quite that far.
On the move. Full speed.
We're not really ready to back that up with anything. Yeah, An Orion, a Corsair, and a Longbow could mess up our Black Knight pretty badly out of cover if we rolled poorly on the evasive. We'll see what happens with that. The Heavy Mortar Carrier is going for that Longbow. I like this choice. Longbows don't have super strong armor anyway, and softening that armor will be very useful for us once we do get LOS next round. So he's panic level critical as well right now. Phase 18 is probably this Orion. Okay. Rear arc on the Avatar. I don't care about that. And he got closer together with the Corsair. We'll see if they retain that closeness. Now, the Frankie's going to get to move unless this Longbow does something about it. He attacked the Orion instead. I guess it's something. It's better than doing absolutely nothing like they've been doing for a while now. But the Frankie is going to get up. And let's see what he does here. I mean, he doesn't have much left. Goes for a Devastator. Okay, I don't care about that, really. That's completely fine. No problem whatsoever there, really. I do wish we had turrets, though. That would be convenient. So our Marauder is going to want to advance up over this way. We're not quite able to take up a firing line up here, although that'll be a really good place for us next round. Phase 16 will be the Longbow. It's not going to happen, but I'd like it to move here. I guess that's okay. Firing on the SPG, but with an irrelevant amount of damage. This really doesn't matter.
Light damage, holding firm.
Yeah, I don't care about that. That is completely and totally irrelevant to us.
Holding.
So next up is our SPG. The SPG obviously attacks the Orion here. 100%.
Locking on.
A fantastic hit there. That's going to shred a lot of armor off of that Orion.
Goddamn, let's do this.
Yep, that shreds a lot of armor off. It does some damage to the Longbow and the crossbow, or rather the Corsair as well.
Commander?
So the Devastator at this point could move up to about here. And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Commander.
It doesn't have LOS there. We're just taking up this high ground position.
I hear ya.
The Archer is going to position out over here. I'm concerned about
I read you,
not
Commander.
being
Moving
able to
out.
hit this Frankie very well. It's not great, but we'll crit
Here
fish.
we
Let's see what
go.
we've got going on here. Very little is the answer.
Let's get fired up. There's
Okay.
work to do.
Yeah, that didn't get very much done there. So next up is phase 15, which is going to be that Corsair. Beautiful. So the Corsair backs up a little bit, I think, and fires indirect on our marksman again. I don't care about this. This is completely irrelevant
Light
to
damage.
us.
Holding
They can
firm.
do that all they want. That
You
is a
got
waste of their
nothing,
time and
hear me?
resources. I like it.
Systems
Next
holding.
up is our Devastator. I think the Devastator is just going to sit where it's at and shoot at the Frankie.
Let's see how we like this.
Does a lot of damage there, and the
Make it
Frankie's
happen.
gone. Fantastic.
eliminated.
Now we don't have to worry about this flank. Everything here is cleaned up. So that looks good. If only we had turrets to fire at them, but
Let's
we don't.
go.
So that Marauder doing absolutely nothing. Okay. Neither of these have done anything of note. Awkward. They're clearly bugged, so that's fine. The LRM carrier is actually firing at the Longbow, though. This is a good thing. The Longbow's armor is quite weak. So we'll take that. Next up, who are they moving? That's their Archer. They could again fire LRMs there, but they didn't.
Ready
Okay,
for
our crossbow is going to move up over this direction for now, and we can lob some LRMs at someone here. Who do we want to lob LRMs at, is the question. The answer is the Corsair, because of hit odds. So that's fine, but this is going to use 30 of our listen kill ammo, so we're going to have to fire in ER mode on our LRM-20.
Feel
Okay.
the love.
So whittling down that Corsair a little bit there. Looks good. And when do these guys end up moving? 13 for the Corsair, but what are the others? 15 for the Orion and Longbow. Noted. We should be able to move in and do a significant amount of damage, if not just obliterate them, before they can respawn. So the heavy mortar carrier moves up, going for the Corsair. I love this choice. Soften up the Corsair and the Orion. Build up some instability on them. That's really, really good. The Crossbow X is going to position here. This is not in cover. Maybe we should position here and sprint slightly further ahead.
Confirmed.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's position it here. I want to go probably for the longbow here. The longbow is the most likely to be killed. Light him up.
Follow my lead.
That is very significant damage to it.
Punch right through his armor.
Not as much as I had hoped, though. That didn't cluster very well, and it spread out a lot. So that longbow has basically no armor left at this point. Yeah, almost none in most of its areas that matter. So the rifleman is going to start to head down the road here, but we're overheated, and that's all the further we can go. But we would definitely like to start getting some shots down this road. Next up is the longbow, our friend the longbow, and it fires on the injured longbow. Ammo explosion there, and it took off an arm. I don't think it destroyed the overall longbow, but we're looking here for some reason. Okay, there we go. Now we can move. Yeah, that longbow has basically no weapons
What can I do
left.
for you?
So the archer is going to simply turn here. We're not going to get LOS, and we're going to fire on, I mean, it's going to be the longbow in terms of hit odds. So we'll crit fish that. And there we go. That's the crit we needed. The longbow is out of here. Fantastic. So now there's 2 enemies remaining, and they're both hiding behind this ridge. So the Black Knight is going to move up to here. Do we need to sprint to get there? We do not. We can also position here. I want to leave a spot open here in case one of these mechs can't get there. So we're going to position here instead. This is in cover, and we can fire on the Corsair is the best hit odds. Do it. Soften up that armor a bit. A pretty solid hit, all things considered. I like it.
Hey, let's slip the dog of war.
Okay, so next up
Waiting
is
for
the Grasshopper. The Grasshopper doesn't love this position. We need to protect its right-hand side, so we'll position it about like
On the move,
this
Full speed.
and fire on that Corsair. We did hit the auto cannon, so that's good.
It's go time.
But the Grasshopper is a bit vulnerable to these guys right now. So we'll see how that ends up going. The Marauder moves up next and can position here. I like this spot.
Copy that.
So we can fire on that Corsair. This is doing a lot of Corsair damage. No doubt about that. Light him up. So the Corsair's armor is nearly gone in a lot of important locations, and we tagged it there. Next up is our Bandersnatch. The Bandersnatch is going to position here. And we're going to fire almost certainly still on that Corsair. Yes, that is indeed the target. Light him up.
Roger.
That's a structure exposure. No crits internally, though. Okay, that's fine. Next up is our Nidhogg, and the Nidhogg is going to close in as much as it can here. This is a very long-range shot, but honestly, the Arrow 4 is good at this range. So we're going to fire the Snubnose and the Arrow 4 into this Corsair.
No retreat.
Excellent. That did a lot of damage to both of these
Regret that.
mechs. They're going to get to move very soon. We've not destroyed any of their real weaponry. But our SPG moves next. This might cause some splash damage to us, but I'm going to drop this on the Corsair. We're a ways away from it.
Let's get this done.
Beautiful.
Lucky bastard. That was a solid hit.
Okay. So one of them panicked there, and they're both unsteady. They both have structure exposures. Boy, this Corsair has no armor.
Ready for
Okay, the
orders.
Devastator is going to move up over to here. We're going to fire on this Corsair. It probably dies to this. Those autocannons didn't go well, but we got the crits we needed.
Enemy down.
Fantastic. So the Corsair's out of here, and only the Orion remains. The Orion is going to die very quickly. It gets to move this next round, and it gets to shoot at whoever it wants. Probably the Grasshopper here, although it might be better off firing at the Devastator, according to AI math. Okay, I strongly disagree with attacking the Avatar here. Cool. So next up is our other Devastator, which can start to move up this road. It's very, very close to being able to engage here, but sadly, with this hill here, it can't see. We still don't have any turrets, and that's okay. This Orion is not going to last more than an attack or two. So the Archer does nothing. The LRM carrier is actually attacking. And there goes the Archer, or rather the Orion. Fantastic. So that is everything gone here. Beautiful. We wiped out the Op Form.
Mission successful.
So that wasn't too bad as far as damage goes. I really wish that we had had those turrets on our side. That would have helped us clean up the south side a lot faster, and would have helped us do indirect fire on the north side and chip through that armor a little faster. I don't care for the amount of clustering that we did not get when attacking that Corsair. That thing soaked up a lot of fire, no doubt about it. But, you know, sometimes that happens. All seems pretty good. So the next step, of course, is to get those repairs done. That's 2.3 million. I like it in terms of income. I don't think we got much salvage, and we don't care to have much salvage, but we also didn't take all that much damage. Yeah, we have one thing that we can salvage here. What are we even interested in? Rocket 20s? 31 heat sinks? That's a lot of standard heat sinks. I don't feel like we need 31 standard heat sinks, to be honest. If those were double heat sinks, I'd do that in a heartbeat. But I kind of want to take 2 Rocket 20s. Those are a nice, convenient thing to keep around when you have a missile slot and 1.5 tons to spare. So that'll be fine. We don't need primitive sensors. We don't need a standard fusion engine. AP AC-20 ammo, though. That's pretty good. I like it. Through armor damage on that. Sure, we'll take that. So that is all well and good. But the question is, do we get to deploy another day before the month tick? That would be amazing if we did. I don't know. The Grasshopper would probably not be available for that, if I had to guess. I think it's going to take more than 4 days to repair the Grasshopper. Everything else is probably okay, so we could maybe do a limited drop. It would be really good to get one more deploy this month. That would be a really big deal. We've already gotten a number of deploys this month, but one more would be phenomenal. We've already gotten, I think this was our 3rd, if I remember right. And a 4th would be really, really solid. But let's see how long it's going to take to get these repairs done. 9 days in total, according to Yang. Okay. So just looking at the way this is laid out here, these will all be repaired in 2 days. We can deploy again. That said, we do have an injured mech warrior, but that's the Grasshopper pilot, so it should be fine. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to give that a go. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Kintogan, Ali Lee, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.